Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Christine Rogers, and we're here again doing another live. And this week, we're going to be talking about how to maximize your summer and as well give announcements like we always do at the beginning of our sessions. So, we're going to get started. Go ahead and start with our announcements that we have, and Christina will be giving our first announcement for today.
Hey everyone, my name is Christina, and what I wanted to announce is that on this Wednesday, April 14th at 3 p.m., we are doing a College to Career webinar in partnership with Let's Detroit. So, the topic for this webinar is finding career and volunteer opportunities with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources and the Belle Isle Conservancy. So, to give more background about what to expect, is if you are a person that wants to volunteer or have a career in the environment, in wildlife, nature, all in the state of Michigan. So, if you're a person that's interested in climate change and taking care of the wildlife here in the state of Michigan or monitoring the Great Lakes, for example, then this will definitely be the webinar that you will like to participate in. So the Belle Isle Conservancy, they will be speaking to you about volunteer opportunities at Belle Isle Park and also possible internship and job opportunities at the park. So if that seems interesting to you, we will, of course, link the registration information for you all to follow up later.
And next, we're going to be talking about the scholarship on sites. For those of you who aren't aware, Detroit Promise has a special event just for Detroit Promise students. So, students who are registered with Detroit Promise can only attend this event. And we have schools who have come together to accept students as low as a 2.0. And you have to submit an essay, unofficial transcript, and a letter of recommendation. At this event, you can, for some schools, you can hear back that same day. For other schools, it'll still be their same admissions timeline. But either way, this event is only for Detroit Promise students. This opportunity is not available to other students who are not registered for Detroit Promise. So this is the opportunity for you to hear from some schools, ask some questions about admissions. They can go over the application process. Also at this event, some of the applications have been altered just for this on site. So some applications that usually would take about like 10 minutes, 15 minutes have been altered to only be 5 minutes just for students to be able to fill it out at this event and hear back a decision on the same day if possible. So majority of the students who have attended this event have received some type of offer from at least one school. So it's definitely something that is, has success if you actually attend. So you know that you will at least have one offer from one school if you go. So definitely a great thing to take advantage of. So that's the scholarship on site, and you have to be a registered Detroit Private student. And next, we're going to talk about our commitment form. So we know that a lot of you have been anticipating the commitment form, ready to let us know what schools you're going to, what school you are going to, and where you want to use the Detroit Promise. But we are still experiencing some issues with our form. You'll receive a text message and an email when those issues happen resolved. But for those of you who may not still be seeing your form or you weren't able to complete that on your cell phone, we are experiencing some issues. So please bear with us as we work through that. And then next, we have the DCAN ambassadors, Detroit ambassadors, have put together an event called the Spring Distressival. It's April 25th from 2 to 7 p.m. And it's an event for you all to, de-stress before finals, relax. It's been a stressful year. A lot has changed in the last year and a half. So this event was created to allow you all to de-stress. There will be a DJ, there will be food, and it's just available for you all to have a good time. So I'll drop the link for that in the chat for those of you who wants to register for that event. And someone commented, how do I sign up for the on-site? For the on-site, you should have received a email. You should have received an email to sign up for the on-site. So you must be registered as a Detroit Promise student. If you are registered as a Detroit Promise student and didn't receive that email, just shoot us an email to info@detroitpromise.com. And Christina or Kenesha, can you drop that email in the chat? And if you email us there, then we can figure out what's going on. But you should have received the email. Make sure it didn't go to your spam, because sometimes emails will go to your spam. So check your junk mail if you didn't receive that and you are registered as a Detroit Promise student. Okay, great. And then next, the group college advising.
So today, our group college advising sessions will be starting up again. So I'm having an advising session at 4:45 p.m. So today we're going to be discussing scholarship applications and also other topics since we've been working on scholarships for a couple weeks in the group advising sessions at this point. But Kenesha also has group advising sessions this week too. So just keep an eye out on your email and go to the Detroit Promise resources page to join us, which will be linked here in the chat. Oh, and also one more announcement. So the FAFSA deadline to receive priority financial aid from the state of Michigan has been extended to May 1st of this year. So if you still have not done your FAFSA, you still have plenty of time to get as much funding as possible to continue your education beyond high school. So if you have any more questions on how to complete your FAFSA, if you would like assistance on how to do so, just check into group advising or reach out to us at info@Detroit Promise and we can help you out with that also.
And for those of you who didn't see, I did drop the link in the chat for those of you who want to register for the Spring Distressable event. And then the email was also dropped in there for those of you who needed to email us about the scholarship on site. So now we're going to go into what we're all here to talk about, maximizing your summer. How can you make the most out of your summer? The summer can be a great time to show schools that you are more than just your GPA and your test scores, to show employers that you have worked hard to gain skills that you can transfer and bring to whatever company or organization that you want to work with. And this all has to do with being intentional about how you want to set yourself up for success, no matter what you plan on going into, whether or not you're going off to school, going into a trade, going to get a bachelor's degree, community college, if you want to just go straight into the workforce. It's all about being intentional. What skills do you need to have? What skills do you want to personally work on? That things are just things that just interest you, skills that you might not even have a background in, but there's something that you might need to be successful. So start planning your summer now. It's very important to think about what do you want to do. So if you're interested in art, if you're interested in music, engineering, mechanics, where can you find opportunities to build skills around that type of career path? So being involved not only shows employers and colleges that you're motivated and well-rounded, but like I said, these skills and learning experience gain can be transferred to other areas in life. It can improve how financially, how you manage your finances, how you manage your time, how you manage stress when you have to do 50 million things at one time. So being active and constantly participating in different things is definitely beneficial outside of just these bigger future goals like having a career and things like that. You want to just be able to be successful in every aspect of life, and getting various amounts of experiences allows you to do that. So what can you do with your summer? How can you actually do those things? There are so many different ways and so many different opportunities out there for you to explore your interests and and build certain skills. So one of the ways that you can do that, of course, is summer jobs, working during the summer. So for example, Grow Detroit Youth Talent, Young Talent, sorry. You can apply there and you can get summer jobs. They have summer job placements in a variety of different places. And no matter what job you're working, there are always skills that can be gained from that job. It does not matter what job you are working. There are always skills that can be gained from that job. So sometimes just having experience, period, no matter what it is, can be beneficial. Um, and then also Michigan Works, going pro in Michigan, Detroit at Work, the City of Detroit resume building programs. These are things that are related to job searching or exploring certain career paths. And then Christina will talk about what's next, which is volunteering opportunities, how you can use that to also maximize your summer.
So, since doing group college advising sessions, I've been able to really get to know a few students, which has been a really good experience for both me and them. So, when you come into group college advising, I always like to start out with asking students, especially new students, what are their interests, skills, and talents? Because once we answer this question, then we can find more opportunities for you to just build yourself up personally and professionally, like Christine and Kanisha and I are trying to emphasize. So volunteering is just as important as working, especially when you are a young person, because volunteering at a certain organization can actually lead to a full-time position in a career in that field. So a lot of students I'm starting to notice now are interested in things like social work. Social work is a very good interest. It is a very good career field to get involved in. Social work includes just being a person that is community oriented and helping people in your community find the resources for them to afford and maintain their basic needs like shelter, clothes, food, clean water, those types of things. So, a couple organizations that you can volunteer at if you happen to be a person that's interested in social work, or even if you're not, if you're just a person that is community oriented and you like to help others, would be like the United Way of Southeast Michigan. That is the closest United Way organization to us here in Detroit, in the Detroit area. So they take volunteers. Matrix Human Services also takes volunteers. Gleaners Food Bank, they also take youth volunteers also. They actually have a specific department for youth volunteers at Gleaners Food Bank. If you are a person who is passionate about people having food security, for example. So please get in volunteer opportunities. It becomes a lot easier to volunteer once you reach like 17 to 18 years old, but just because you're younger, that you're like maybe like 13 to 16, doesn't mean that there are not opportunities out there for you too. You just have to ask. So we can definitely link more opportunities, and you all can definitely reach out to us if you are interested in any type of volunteer opportunities. And also, let me mention for students that are interested in art, the Museum of Contemporary Art Detroit also has opportunities for young people too. So if you are an artistically inclined person, you like to sing, dance, or create different types of art, MOCAD is a very open organization to youth also.
Thank you for that, Kanisha. So next, so we're going over summer jobs. That's pretty, straight to the point. Everyone knows that, not everyone knows, but everyone should understand the importance of having job experience. If you want to go into a career, no matter what it is, you should have some type of job experience. So applying for summer jobs is important. Like Christina said, the volunteer opportunities, but also internships. Internships are a great way to get experience, to get some type of mentorship, and to work sometimes right under the person or in the position that you want to be in. Sometimes it's not always that. Sometimes you might, just be within that corporation or within that field. But even that within itself is great experience where you start building those connections and seeing what that environment can even look like in itself. So in addition to internships, so internships can be paid or unpaid. They can be through a year, they can be for a couple of months, they can be for a couple of weeks. So there's a variety of different type of internships out there that can match your schedule and what you need. But trying to figure out internships over the summer can be a great resource for building your resume and just gaining those skills. And thanks to DCAN, they have put together a list of summer internships and summer programs. I'm dropping that link in the chat right now for you all. I mean, in the comments. I'm so used to like Zoom and stuff. Okay, so I posted that link. So that's a link to a Google Doc, and it has a list of different summer internships and summer programs that you all can participate in. So just go through that list and see, and try to identify at least one summer opportunity that you can do and apply for. At least one. You should go above and beyond and do more than one and see which ones you can get. But applying for at least one. Okay. And then also for underclassmen, for those of you who aren't seniors, or for those of you who are seniors but maybe know some underclassmen, stressing the importance of studying for the SAT. The summer is a great time for SAT prep. You have more time, you're not in class, just even taking 30 minutes to an hour, a day can really help build increase your SAT score and build your score in certain sections that you might need to improve on. So using things like Khan Academy or College Board to help you improve your score. And also Enact Your Future, and I'll drop the link for that too. Enact Your Future is an SAT and tutoring resource for students. So if you need help improving your SAT score or you need help improving your GPA in certain subjects, Enact Your Future has those resources available to you all. In addition to that, also applying for scholarships. I cannot stress this enough. Scholarships are so important. If you want to go to school, it doesn't matter whether or not you're pursuing trade school, community college, a bachelor's degree, even if you want to go to get your master's degree, whatever your educational path is, apply for scholarships. Even if you aren't sure whether or not you want to go to college, apply for scholarships. Because if you decide at the last minute, hey, I might want to go to college. This is something I want to do. At least you are prepared. So applying for scholarships is going to be very, very important. I'm going to drop the link for this in your chat. DCAN, Detroit College Access Network, has put together a list of scholarships also. So the great thing about this is a lot of this work has been done for you. We're dropping links to summer opportunities. We're telling you about different resources that you can look out for to actually do these things. So now it's about, you taking that next step and actually applying it. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat. So these are some scholarships that are still available. Some of them might have passed and some of them are still open. So even outside of this list, it's important to look for additional scholarships for you to make sure that your Detroit Promise registration is completed. You apply to that school from our Detroit Promise partners and that you have been accepted. You have that college ID. So when that commitment form comes out, you can actually submit that and have that tuition and mandatory fees. But it's still important for you to cover the rest of, your cost of attendance. You have that money for room and board or books. So applying to additional scholarships, even outside the Detroit Promise, is going to be so important. And if you need help with applying for scholarships, getting additional money for school, we have group advising and one-on-one advising to help you all navigate each of these steps that we're talking about. So that's also what's important about these lives. Like each thing that we're talking about, you can set up a group advice, you can join group advising, set up a one-on-one college advising appointment, and you can get help with these things. You don't have to leave here, feeling like that was a lot of information. I don't know, what to do next. We are here to help you navigate that. And if you have any questions about anything that we're saying, please drop some comments in the chat. If you have questions about the Detroit Promise, drop those questions in the chat. So scholarships, very, very, very important. Also, you can start a business. If you know that there's a skill that you have, there's a talent that you have, start investing on that. Create a project plan for you to build on those skills. If art is something that someone is interested in, create a couple of pieces, sell them on Etsy or sell them on eBay and see how your how your work sells or how your art sells. Create a project plan. I'm going to create 5 pieces before the end of the summer and sell them, and sell them by this time for this amount and have this much money from that project. So that was just like a random spiel of about something potential that you can do, but you all get what I'm saying. If there's something that you're interested in, there's a business that you want to start, you can start planning that right now. Start planning it for you to do over the summer. You can start small if you wanted to. I know a lot of kids actually want to work like jobs nowadays, but things like mowing lawns they still produce outcomes. People still, want things like that done. And it doesn't necessarily have to be because that's what you want to do per se, but it's about building certain skills about, how can I create a plan, execute that plan, and get the outcomes that I want to receive. So things like that. And then at the end of that, so once you volunteered, you had your internships, you applied for scholarships, you studied for the SAT, you did all these great things to help you prepare for your future and be intentional about your future. Now you have to figure out, how do I reflect and transfer those experiences? What do I do with all of these things that I just did? So one way is applying these things to your resume. That's going to be the most important thing. You never want to just, be out here just doing stuff for the sake of just doing it. And it's always nice to just do things, but you want to be intentional about, how those things apply to other parts and aspects of your life. So taking the skills that you got from whatever volunteering, from an internship or job shadow, or even just from a summer program that you participated in, putting that on your resume, and making sure that's something when someone looks at that resume, they can see that, you gain these skills, like, I managed a group of 10 to 15 people, to do X, Y, and Z. You want to be able to articulate whatever you did over the summer, onto your resume to employers and to colleges, and then reflect. So it's really great to just like do a one-page reflection on what you learned, what you experienced, what did you want originally to get out of that experience, and what was the outcome? Did you, do what you wanted to do? Did you receive the skills that you wanted to receive? And if you didn't, then reflecting and saying, okay, so what can I do next? What do I need to change? What other opportunities can I explore? Because sometimes what also can be stop students from doing some of these things is other people experiences or bad experience they had themselves with either jobs or internships or volunteer opportunities. And that should never one bad experience should never stop you from continuing to try and to continuing to explore, whatever you're interested in. Because like I said, there's a lot of different things out there and every experience is not going to be equal. But you should also always try to look for the positive and to look at what did you learn, what experiences can you take from whatever you did over the summer. Okay. So now we want to talk about some additional resources that you all can use to explore these topics that we've been explaining, but also some of the college resources, college prep resources.
So Get Schooled is a really good opportunity or website that we use and we connect students with. So Get Schooled has so much information on it. I just recommend students to take some time to really just go through the entire website. There are college resources, there are summer resources, and especially like resume building. So Christine was talking about how all of these experiences are going to work to build your resume. So I'll talk about my experience. So I had a summer job when I was in high school, and it was for Focus, and we kind of like just went around the neighborhoods on the west side, just cleaning up different abandoned houses. So I knew that's not what I wanted to do, like overall long term, but I still gained so much, so many skills. So I was able to work with the team. We had a project, and we figured out. We worked together to figure out how we were going to complete that project in a certain amount of days or whatever it was. So it's not just about oh, all I'm doing is this. Figure out how you can use that skill or that job experience to put it on your resume. Almost everything you do can be a transferable skill. Some students are like, oh, well, all I did was work at McDonald's, but you were customer service is something that you use in every single field. You can use that information no matter where you go. So customer service, you worked with a diverse group of customers. Any of that information is gonna travel with you. So what you really want to do is reach out. So group advising, Get Schooled, reach out to people who know how to help you build that resume and help you figure out what those transferable skills are. Another resource is DCAN. So DCAN student support, they have a lot of resources on their website. So detroitcan.org. I will put that in the chat. I'll make sure I put it in the chat.
And then, I'm doing it right now for you.
And then also the Detroit Promise. So we also have the resources. So Detroit Promise and DCAN, they partner with the They partner with the one-on-one advising, and then also the group advising. So if you have like more specific questions that you don't really want to be in a group setting to get those answered, schedule an appointment with Christina or me, and we can help you work through those things. You can come to us and say, okay, this is the I had this job, this is what I did. What can I really do with this experience? How can I really show that I gained something from this experience? And we can help you work through that.
Great. And for those of you who may have just joined, if you look through the chat, there are two important links in there. There are links to scholarships, and then there is a link to summer internships and summer programs. I really want you all to click on those links and explore those opportunities. It's going to be very important. If you need help with any of those applications, figuring out how to navigate any of that, like Kanisha said, and like Christina said, and like I've said, please sign up for one-on-one advising or group advising. I can't stress this enough. We are here to help and to support you. If there are any questions, if there's any questions, we'll take those now about anything that we said or about the Detroit Promise. And while we're waiting for any questions, we can also just share some of our experiences with summer programs or summer things that we've done. So for myself in particular, I did debate in high school, and that sounds like, like, oh, she's a lame, she's a loser. Like, what's debate? That's how I was born. But it actually was like a very, very fun thing. Like, I was getting to travel all across the country to do this activity, and that's what I did during my summer. I traveled to different states and went to different debate camps at different universities, and through that, I was able to see like what's college like. What is it like to walk around this campus, navigate this space? We had our schedule that was kind of set up like how my schedule was set up in college. We stayed in dorms. So that was experience I was able to get in 10th grade, over the summer of 10th grade. So my 9th to 10th grade year, I was able to get that experience and be able to be on a college campus. I also was fortunate enough to go to university prep, and we had internships. So a part of our school was students, every student had an internship. So I was able to internship at a veterinary clinic, found out that I didn't want to be a vet. Things like those experiences allow you to see like, what do you want to do? What don't you want to do? What skills do I need? What skills don't I need? And yeah, I realized that I did not want to be a vet by interning at a veterinary clinic. I didn't, it was one experience of being inside of like the surgery room where they were doing surgery on a dog. And I was like, yeah, I can't. It's not for me. And then also I internship at the Women's Rights Foundation at downtown. And personally, like that was an experience that I wanted to get from an internship. It wasn't as interactive as I wanted it to be. And it wasn't that I didn't gain anything from that experience. It was nice being able to talk to the women who worked there and see how they got to their positions, how they got into the work that they did. But the actual work I was doing at the internship wasn't really my favorite, but I was still able to take away from that experience by networking with the people that was around me and trying to take the most from what I could get from our conversations and our interactions. I see you struggling down there, Kanisha, with your dog. It's okay, we understand. Christina, do you have any experiences that you want to share about different summer programs you participated in or internship experiences?
Yep. So when I was in high school, well, actually, it started in middle school. I was in math corps at Wayne State University. So I pretty much grew up in math corps from my 7th grade year of middle school up until my senior year of high school. So when I was in high school, I became a teaching assistant. So I tutored middle school students in math, and it was a very rewarding experience. It really shows you who you are and how you can help someone learn something. But then again, you're learning from kids on how to teach someone something. So it was a very valuable experience that that's still very important to me now. So I know that there are plenty of kids that are still in math corps to this day. My younger brother has been in math corps for years, and now he's a college student. He's still involved in math corps. So that was a really good summer job experience that I had in high school. When I got to college, I did an internship in which I was helping out at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. And the thing is that it was a really good internship experience, yet it wasn't. It was my experience at the museum was all around a really good experience. I ended up volunteering there in the future. Um, my experience with the on the university side, like with my classes, that got a little interesting at some places, a bit challenging. But then again, like Christine has emphasized, you can come out of an experience that has had its lows and its highs and see it as an overall valuable experience. I like to take from it the positives, and like the most valuable thing that I really took from my internship experience was to really learn about the city in which I come from, was to really learn about Detroit's history, why Detroit is the way it is, and just really just, the very deep history of the city. So that's one of the most valuable things I came out with. But really go for internships, because the thing is, you shouldn't go in thinking, like, don't assume bad experiences, assume good experiences so they can end up coming out with a good experience. And that's just going into everything. So I've had really great experiences with internships and jobs overall from throughout my career at this point.
Great. And you brought up a good point. And that's something that I want whoever's on the line, whoever's watching this right now, to understand is that no matter what stage you are, so if you're in middle school, if you're really elementary, if you're in elementary, middle school, high school, college, you graduated, it doesn't matter. You can still be doing all of these things, applying for internships, job shadowing, volunteering, building your resume. These are things that you should constantly be doing no matter what stage you are in your life. So that's why it's important to start doing it early, so you don't have to start doing these things later on and figuring out what career do I want to explore. If you start doing internships and volunteering and networking with people and your potential interests, then you can start, crossing some things off the list and saying, okay, I know I don't want to do this. I know I do want to do this. This is the type of work environment I want to be in. This is not the type of work environment I want to be in. And that way you're not, waiting to the last minute. You're not in a job that, you don't want to be in, but you don't really want to switch jobs at that moment. So if it's at any point in time, you can switch jobs if it's up to you. But, you want to at least have done some of that work on the back end, so you don't have to like do too much work, later on. I mean, on the front end, so you don't have to do too much work on the back end later on. And then any questions? So if you don't have any questions about any of the resources that we dropped in the comments, or about Detroit Promise, we're gonna hang around for a few more minutes, and then we will see you all next week.
So I did just drop in AmeriCorps.org. So AmeriCorps, you can, as a high school student, have an AmeriCorps job, or you can get an AmeriCorps job straight out of high school, and that can be your summer right there, in which you're getting job experience. You may get a stipend, or it may be volunteering. However, AmeriCorps really does. It helps you find other resources. It just opens doors for you. So that's also a really good opportunity to get into, just see what's out there. There are plenty of AmeriCorps positions in Detroit.
Great, thank you, Christina. Always dropping resources. Appreciate you. Okay. If there's no more comments, these comments will be around this, live will still exist after. So if you need to stick around, go through the comments, and, or even if you have a comment after this live is over, then please still drop that comment in the chat. We'll respond. Shoot us a DM, instant, messenger. I don't think it's called a DM for Facebook. So send us a message on Messenger or whatever you're using, and we'll respond. And thank you for joining our live, and we hope that you all will join again.